Hello, teacher.
Can you hear me? ¿Pueden escuchar? Can you hear me?
Who are you, teacher?
Yes.
Perfect. So we're going to start because we have to cover using three by now. Next week we have our exam. La siguiente semana tenemos nuestro examen. So let's open our books. ¿Sí? Open our books. Ya terminamos Unit 3, ¿verdad? Unit 2, sorry. Yeah. Do you remember Unit 2? We already finished this unit. Don't forget to send your homework. I haven't checked, todavía no lo tocó. During this week, I will be checking. No, esta semana voy a estar checando writing. Okay, so we're gonna start with a new unit, which is Unit 3. Yeah. Good news, bad news. So look at the picture. Who are these people? Who are these people? Hello, Aya. What are we doing, guys?
They are take pictures.
Taking pictures. Huh? They are recording, maybe. What are their jobs? What do they do? What are their jobs? Well, because they got a job. They are called.
I'm not sure, but cameragraphers?
Cameragraphers, yeah, cameramen, yeah, cameramen, camera. I'm not sure if this is the word fit. Photographer.
Camarógrafos, ¿no?
Yeah, but in English, cameragraphers. I'm not sure if it's cameraman, cameraman, or photographers as well. Who do they take photos? Who do they take photos of?
Como teacher?
Who do they take photos of? ¿De quién? Someone. Who do they take photos of? Or who do they record? Who do they record? Who do they take photos?
Athletes or sportmen?
Right.
Maybe
People.
someone famous person.
Yeah, a famous person, a celebrity. Yeah, thank you. And what about you? Why do people take photos in general? Why do people take photos or record or take selfies? Why do they do that? Why do they share a video?
For work or for hobby?
Oh, okay. Yeah, could be. Good answer. Any other reason? Do you have any other reason? Can you think of other reasons?
For work.
Okay. All right. So, for example, talking about work, the news, right? The news. What's happening around the world, what's happening now is the news, right? So good news and bad news. For example, good news that the weather, no? So now it's not so cold, so it's becoming hotter, it's becoming warmer. Another good news is that dollar, for example, nowadays, dollar is not so expensive, so you can buy dollars. Bad news, what about bad news? That crime, unfortunately, in Mexico, in Guatemala, crime is basically the bad news of earthquake. For example, what happened in Turkey, there was an earthquake. It was very, very sad, depressing, frustrating for Turkish people, right? So that's good news and bad news. So in this unit, we will be checking narrative tenses, so vocabulary, we will be checking adverb, saying when, a spy story, James Bond, the man with the golden gun, writing, there's a writing, pictures, story, narrative writing, basically past simple and past continuous. In this week, we will be checking past simple and past continuous. Okay, so let's watch the video introduction.
Welcome to Unit 3. This unit is about different kinds of stories, including news stories, both good and bad, as well as spy stories and picture stories. In this unit, you'll learn how to use narrative tenses to tell stories. We'll focus on the past simple and the past continuous to describe actions in the story and the scene. Last night, I was watching TV when someone knocked on my front door. Have you ever seen a James Bond film? I think I've seen about 5, and my favourite is definitely Skyfall, with Daniel Craig as Bond. In reading and listening, you'll read an excerpt from a classic James Bond story, and you'll try and work out how it ends. The video in this unit is about a real story from the past, a tragedy that happened over 100 years ago and claimed more than 1,500 lives. Vocabulary and speaking looks at adverbs, both regular, for example, carefully, and irregular, for example, fast. Adverbs are important because they can really help bring a story or narrative text to life. What's the date today? When were you born? In everyday English, you'll look at how to say dates correctly. Mr. Class, you can go online and look at the material again and do the online activities. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Okay, hopefully, yeah, my internet is not so well. Well, actually, the internet from Tele is not so good. Sometimes it varies. So yeah. Did you watch the video? Put it on the video. Did you watch the video? Did you hear the video?
No muy bien, teacher.
No,
Or
no, teacher, se trabó.
¿Se trabó? Okay. You can follow
One,
the.
one more time, teacher.
Okay. Sorry? Say that again. I didn't hear. So sorry. Can you say that again? But anyway, so what is the past simple of this verb? We have irregular verbs. Yeah, irregular verbs, guys. As I said before, well, I'm not sure if I said before, but at the back of your book or at the beginning, sometimes it depends on the book, but I think yours is at the back. You've got a irregular verb list. Unfortunately, you have to memorize, remember all of them, all of those that you are seeing right now. Todos los que ven ahí, you have to memorize all of them. There's no other way, unfortunately, and all the three lists, ¿vale? Todas las tres listas de aquí, porque ya dentro de un mes y medio, 2 meses, we are going to check, we will be checking present perfect, and after that, past perfect as well. At the end of the semester, we will be checking past perfect. But anyway, present perfect, we need the past participle of the verb. ¿No? Necesitamos el pasado participio de los verbos, ¿no? Por ejemplo, choose, chose, chosen. Leave, left, left. No, mute, no. Speak, spoke, spoken. Write, wrote. So, highly recommendable, guys. If you haven't studied them, you haven't learned them, please do it this day. Start learning 10 by 10, yeah, 10 by 10, and then, well, little by little, you learn all of them. Okay, so what is the past? Only the past of become. Become. Yes, ahí, become. Became. Clean. Clean. Hello, hi, clean.
Son de los que solo se le agregan ed.
So what is the past?
Clean.
Clean. Yeah. Die.
Died.
Right.
Sit.
Bill.
Set. Chill.
Felt.
Felt.
Yeah, so. Find.
Some.
Found.
Home.
Give.
Gave.
Gave.
Okay. Go.
Went.
Went.
Go.
Grew.
Great.
Grew. Grew. Hope.
Hope.
Hope it.
Hope. Hope. Here. Here.
Shared.
Heard. Have.
Past.
Have. Stay.
Stayed.
Stay.
Okay.
Take.
Took.
So,
Try.
Right. Right.
One.
Went.
One test. Nada de one. One test. Cuando tienen que pronunciar, no pronuncian, y cuando no se debe pronunciar, pronuncian. Yeah. I've noticed that. Yeah, you have to master that. You have to practice that. Yeah. I'm going to share some videos in order to practice that, ¿vale? ED form, especially, ¿no? La forma ED. Por ahí tenemos todavía errores, ¿ya? Clean, diet, no se dice cleaner, diet, ¿ya? Clean, literalmente, clean, died, otra vez sí. Por ejemplo, hope, literalmente con T, hope, pass, saved, tried, y el único que se pronuncia son los que terminan, todos los verbos que terminan su terminación o una letra antes de la última palabra que estén en sí o sí. Por ejemplo, one, visit, invite, invited, wanted, invited, wanted, ya se me olvidó. Invited, wanted, decided, the man. There is a list. I'm going to share the list so you can practice the pronunciation as well as on video. Yes, it's very, very important. So listen to the pronunciation.
3.1 Regular verbs.
Clean, cleaned. Die, died. Hope, hoped. Pass, passed. Stay, stayed. Try, tried. Want, wanted.
Irregular verbs.
Become, became, feed, fed, feel, felt, find, found, give, gave, go, went, grow, grew, hear, heard, take, took.
Okay, so remember to classify the irregular verbs and regular verbs, right? So, we have look at the photo, the title, and the map. Let's go to the reading part. Let's say kind of reading part. So it says, what animal is this? What animal is it? Hello, what animal is this? Little one.
Yo lo escucho medio trabado, pero no sé si solo soy yo.
Yo también, profe, no, no lo
Sí,
escucho.
No se le entiende muy bien. Por eso yo creo que nos quedamos así como que, ¿what?
Porque no se entiende.
¿Es a penguin?
Is a penguin?
The penguin.
Hi, can you hear me better? ¿Ya me pueden escuchar un poquito mejor? Hello.
Yes.
Sí.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was asking what animal is that. Thank you very much. Penguin. Yeah, it's a penguin. And well, you can see, if you check, penguins live in the sea. No, they live in the sea. We're going to, this is kind of good news. No, good news. Vamos a leer porque es good news. Penguins swim 5,000 miles every year to visit the man who saved his life. Joao says, I love the penguin like he's my own child, and I believe the penguin loves me. So, why is it good news? ¿Por qué es noticia buena? Why is it good news? What did the man do? What did the man do? ¿Qué hizo the man?
Lo salvó.
But in English, he
Because he saved it.
he saved his life. That's it, he saved his life. Who is Joao Pereira? Who is Dindin? Who is who? Who is who? ¿Quién es quién?
every year.
Yeah. Joao Pereira is the man, and Din Din is the penguin, of course. Where did Joao find Din Din? We're going to find out where does Din Din swim every year. Also, part of the introduction. No? Joao Pereira de Souza, he's 71 years old. He lives on an island near Rio de Janeiro. He's retired bricklayer, but still works as a part-time fisherman. One day, about 5 years ago, he found a tiny sick penguin on the beach near his home. The penguin's feathers were covered in oil. Yeah, what's the letter say? They were covered in oil. So where did he find the penguin? ¿Dónde lo encontró? Where did he find the penguin?
About 5 years ago.
Where? ¿Dónde?
On the
Where?
beach.
On
In
the
the
beach,
beach.
of course, in Rio de Janeiro. On the beach. What happened to the penguin? What happened to the penguin?
The penguin has a bricklayer.
No,
It's sick.
he was sick. He was
He was sick.
covered in oil. Covered in oil. ¿Qué es oil?
Aceite.
Aceite.
Aceite o petróleo también en este contexto. Petróleo.
Ah, no más.
So, bricklayer, porque se me dice bricklayer es albañil. Bricklayer, right? Okay, so where does Dindin swim to every year? Well, supposedly he swims every year from Antarctica or from Argentina to Rio de Janeiro. You notice that's the way that he swims. Yeah. But anyways, we're going to read more about this guy. So read and complete the article with 10 verbs from the starter, ¿vale? Van a tener que completar aquí el article, yeah, the complete the reading with the verbs, con los verbos que vimos anteriormente, became, clean, die, fed, fell, found, gave, went, grew, of, heard, have, they, took, try, y wanted. ¿Vale? Solamente 10 verbs de todos esos. You have to choose and put it here. Okay. Les ayudo con el primero. Yeah, the penguin's feathers were covered in all Joao fell stories. Yeah, fell stories for the sick little bird. Vale, so you complete the rest. Complete the rest with the verbs con los verbos previos 3 minutes and we check together. 3 minutes and we check together. Okay, ready. So, on not yet. 2 more minutes. Two more minutes. Okay, so let's focus here. So he took him back to his home. He cleaned him and fed him sardines. Yes, fed him sardines. And he, yeah, alimentó. Recuerden que fed es el pasado de feed, alimentar. He fed him sardines and he gave him the name Pinguin. Penguin soon became strong and healthy again. Became. After a week or two, Joao went down the seashore and tried to put Gintin back into the water. Beautiful new fur grew on his back, and finally 4 more months passed, and when suddenly he suddenly heard a familiar honking sound. Honking. When, one honking, for example, the car, cuando tocan el claxon, yeah, es el honking sound. Okay, so let's read and listen again. We're going to, you have like some kind of dots, como unos dots aquí, if you notice this. So it is missing information here. Hay una información que falta aquí. So these are kind of dots. So there is missing information over there. Here there are more. These lines are from the text. We're going to read again and listen where each sentence. Yeah. Let's do it together. Let's read it together. Miriam, no, sorry, Jason, can you read the first? The poor bird
Was dying
the poor bird was dying. Thank you. Roxana, because
Because he was annoying the company on his new friend.
Yes, sí. Valeria, please. Next,
When he was fishing.
Ana Mendoza, Joao. No está Ana Mendoza. Vera Cruz.
Joao was walking sadly home from the beach.
Yes, correct. Thank you. All right. So these sentences, they are expressed in the text. Yeah, so then
3.2.
put it in the correct place.
Penguin swims 5,000 miles every year to visit the man who saved his life. Joao says,
I love the penguin like he's my own child, and I believe the penguin loves me.
Joao Pereira de Souza, 71, lives on an island near Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. He is a retired bricklayer, but still works as a part-time fisherman. One day, about 5 years ago, when he was fishing, he found a tiny sick penguin on the beach near his home. The penguin's feathers were covered in oil. The poor bird was dying. Joao felt sorry for the sick little bird, and so he took him back to his home. He cleaned him and fed him sardines, and he gave him the name Dindim. The penguin soon became strong and healthy again. After a week or two, Joao went down to the seashore and tried to put Dindim back into the water. The penguin didn't want to go. He stayed with Joao, getting bigger and bigger. Beautiful new feathers grew on his back. 8 months passed. Joao was very happy because he was enjoying the company of his new friend. Then, suddenly, one day in February, Dindim disappeared. Joao was sad to lose him, but hoped that the bird just wanted to return to his penguin family. 4 more months passed. Joao was walking sadly home from the beach when suddenly he heard a familiar honking sound. Dindim was back. So it was, and so it is. Every year since then, Dindim spends 8 months with Joao and then disappears for 4 months. Where does he go? It is thought that he swims 2,500 miles to the coast of Argentina or Chile to start a penguin family, and then swims 2,500 miles back to Joao. That's 5,000 miles a year to be with the man who saved his life.
Yes, so that's the complete story of Dindim. No? And well, here it is the answer. Hopefully you can see the answer, guys. The camera for a bit so you can see better. Yeah, one day when he was fishing, no? About 5 years when he was fishing, have a tiny big finger after covering all the poor girl was dying. Then in the second paragraph, after Joao was very happy because he was enjoying the company of his new friend. Then the next paragraph, 4 more months passed, Joao was walking sadly home from the beach. Yeah, was walking sadly from the beach. Yeah. So what is that? All of these sentences are not in past simple. They are in past continuous. If you notice past continuous, we form with the verb to be. What is the verb to be here? The past of the verb to be was. or where, in this case, because we are talking about the verb and the man, the human, it is singular. Entonces va a ser was. And what happens to the verb? We add ing, agregamos ing. This past continuous is to make more interesting your story. Es para hacer un poco más interesante the story. And not to be like repetitive. Because past simple is fine, it's acceptable, but when you include past continuous, we add description. We add more description and it's much more interesting the story. Yeah. So that's the main use of the past continuous, right? So we have here some questions. We're going to listen this part.
3.3 Questions and Answers 1.
What did João find?
A tiny sick penguin.
2.
What was he doing when he found it?
He was fishing.
3.
Where did he take the penguin?
He took it home.
4.
What did he feed it?
Sardines.
5.
How long did Dindim stay?
8 months.
6.
Why was João happy?
Because he was enjoying the penguin's company.
7.
Which month did Dindim disappear?
February.
8.
Which month did he return?
June.
Okay, so those are the questions and answers. Okay, you will have a little bit of homework, ¿vale? Un poco de tarea. Tomorrow I'm going to explain more about past simple y past continuous. Pero mientras ustedes focus on this part, yeah, this page 144, ¿vale? Estos términos que nos quedan, estos 10 minutos que nos quedan, read the page carefully, check example, check the rules. Mañana lo vamos a explicar con más detalle, ¿ya? Tomorrow I'll explain that with more detail, ¿ok? Eso va a ser su tarea. Read page 144, página 144. Read.
La 144, la 3.3.
All of the page, the whole page.
Oh.
Tomorrow
Okay.
I